Hamburger Sportverein is arguably one of the most historic clubs in all of Germany. But ever since getting relegated for the first time in their history in 2018, they've not been the same. As late as 2010 they got to the semi-final of the Europa League, and were a great Bundesliga side regularly fighting near the top. After barely avoiding the drop for 4 of the 6 seasons from 2011 to 2017, the incredible run of staying in the Bundesliga since its founding in 1963 came to an end, and Hamburger Sportverein was relegated to the Zweite Bundesliga. Since then they've recorded 4 4th place finishes and 2 3rd place finishes, and have failed to earn promotion for 6 years running. So the task of Julian Nagelsmann is to earn promotion, win the Bundesliga, and finally win a European trophy. Julian Nagelsmann is a small maniac who always wears shorts and t-shirt, no matter the weather. -5 degrees, shorts and t-shirt. Hurricane and winds of up to 30 meters a second, shorts and t-shirt. Snowstorm and -20 degrees, shorts and t-shirt. It's a no-brainer really. He's a local lad who saw the golden days of his boyhood club, and he'll look to break the horrible run of managers who's failed in gaining promotion, and bring the club back to where it belongs. The tactic Nagelsmann will be using is a relatively simple 4-3-3 tactic on paper. But he'll be using a halfback at DM, an inverted wingback at right back, an inside forward on the left, and a target forward up front. He'll use a tiki-taka style of build-up play, and obviously the famous German gegenpress once we lose the ball. We have a strong squad from the off, so he won't be bringing in any new players this summer. Some of our better players include our captain Schonlau at centre back, Loni van der Bremt at right back, Meffert at DM, Benes at centre mid, and Glatzel up top leading the line. We also have a very promising backup striker in Andras Nemeth, who might take Glatzel's spot in the long run. And finally, we have a centre back who's suspended for 2 years. His name is Mario Vuskovic, and he can't play football until November 2024.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The season preview has us as favourites to win the title, but we all know about the curse that Hamburg has had for the last 6 years, so we'll be looking to take it one game at a time. We've got newly relegated Schalke in our first game, so it's a tough start, but also a chance to show that we mean business this season. Not a lot happened, to be honest. Glatzel scored an offside header after 36 minutes, and Astonali missed this big chance in the 89th. But in the 94th, Andras Nemeth, who'd come on just 20 minutes ago, got the ball from Astonali. He took a great first touch and finished it into the opposite corner. The goal did get checked by VAR, but it stood as he was just onside. So we win our first game of the season against our promotion rivals, and we get the best possible start to the season.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
The next game we won quite comfortably 3-0 against Karlsruhe after goals from Ferrari, Glatzel and Guilherme Ramos. Now it's time for the first round of the DFB Pokal, and we're facing Dynamo Dresden away, a team from the level below us. We had 3 decent chances in the 37th, 58th and 65th, before they actually scored in the 70th from this insane free kick variant. Thankfully, Glatzel scored just a minute later as their goalie had a howler. Nothing else happened for the rest of normal time, so it's extra time. The only thing that happened in extra time was that Königsdörfer hit the bar with this long-range effort. So pence it is. They scored their first before Glatzel scored our first. They then scored again, and Ferrari missed our second. But Fernandes came up big as he saved the next one before Schonlau scored his. Scheffler then scored for Dresden before Königsdörfer scored our fourth off the post. Fernandes then saved again, and Muheim slotted his into the net to win the game for us. So we're through to the second round of the DFB Pokal. We win the next 3 league games in tight and tough affairs. First we won 2-1 against Hertha Berlin as Glatzel and Dompe scored our goals. Hadzika Dunic then scored the only goal against Hanover before Glatzel and Ferrari scored our goals in a 2-0 win against Hansa Rostock. So after 5 games we lead by 5 points. We couldn't have asked for a better start, but that has come with downsides too. Ludovic Reis and Laszlo Benes, our two starting centre mids, have been injured. Reis is out for 3 to 4 months with a broken foot, and Benes is out for 4 to 5 weeks with a groin strain.
Oh, my ankles! Oh!
The 6th league game was a dull one. A 0-0 draw away to Elversberg means we dropped the first points of the season. We did hit back with a 3-1 win away to Osnabrück though, as Shata, Glatzel and Schonlau scored our goals. The next game we draw 2-2 with Düsseldorf, after Nemeth scored this incredible chip right after coming on to at least save a point. We then drew once again, this time 1-1 away to last place VN Wiesbaden. We did hit back once again though, as we won 2-0 against Greuther Fürth. Glatzel got a brace to continue his great start to the season, and after 10 games we're at the top by 4 points down to Karlsruhe in second. We're unbeaten and have only conceded 5 goals, so it's a great start to a big year for the club. With a rotated side we win the 11th league game against Kaiserslautern. We win 2-1 after Jata scored the winner in the 91st after a great attack. We're now facing Bundesliga side Borussia Mönchengladbach in the DFB Pokal second round. They're bottom of the Bundesliga and both the board and the supporters expect a win, so we better deliver. Ferrari had a big chance after just 7 minutes, but he blasted it over. 5 minutes later though, Benes scored this deflected goal after some good link-up play down the right hand side. A half chance for both teams then followed, before Kramer scored this from a free kick variant in the 88th. But it's offside, so we win 1-0 against Bundesliga side Borussia Mönchengladbach, and it's actually deserved as well.
Respect, man, respect.
The draw for the third round of the DFB Pokal wasn't too kind to us though, as we got RB Leipzig away. That's basically the most difficult draw we could have got. We win 1-0 against Magdeburg in the 12th league game, as Glatzel scores the only goal of the game. The next game though, we lose our first game as we concede in the 87th. That's a bad loss to take, especially considering they're in a relegation scrap.
This was the no-brainer. This was the banker. This was the one that couldn't fail. This was one that's never failed.
Once again, after a poor result, we managed to hit back. We win the next game 2-0 against Braunschweig after goals from Captain Schonlau and Dompe. We're facing St. Pauli in the next game, which is a huge game. Firstly because of the crosstown rivalry with them dating back to 1919, but also because they're the team in second right now, so a win is hugely important. There was literally not a single highlight for the entire game, so it ended 0-0. I can only say sorry to the fans. But to spin it positively, we still have the same 6-point lead at the top.
Quit, don't quit. Noodles.
We're now facing RB Leipzig in the third round of the DFB Pokal, which is a huge game for us, and we'll have to grind it out to have a chance of winning. Elmas had a big chance after 8 minutes, but he shot just wide. Leipzig then got the softest pen I've ever seen given in the 32nd, which Xavi Simons scored. Nothing happened in the second half, so we lose deservedly 1-0. But I still don't understand how that's a pen. Before our next game against Paderborn, we've got the youth intake preview. It's looking brilliant. We've got ace at fullbacks, centre-backs and strikers. Against Paderborn, we win 1-0 after an early tap-in goal from Glatzel. And in the final game before a month-long Christmas break, we disappointingly draw 1-1 away to Nuremberg. So at the halfway point in the league, we're at the top with a 7-point gap down to rival St. Pauli in second. One thing I'm disappointed about is the fact that we're creating too few chances, so I am thinking about changing the tactic. But for now I think I'll leave it as is, and let the players gel together for a bit longer. As the January window's open now, we've brought in one player. Youngster Sidney Rabiger has joined the club on loan from Frankfurt. But he's gone and broken his fucking lower leg, so he's out for 4 to 5 months. And we probably won't see him play more than 2 or 3 games, so not the best start to transfer business at the club.
Pain, suffering, depression.
We start the second half of the season in the best way possible. We beat Schalke 3-1 with a great comeback after they scored first. Glatzel got himself a brace, and Benes scored the final goal. We then smashed Karlsruhe 4-0 at home. Glatzel scored this weird goal against an outrushing goalie, and Dompe scored this insane long-range lob from about 35 yards. On deadline day, we sold Moritz Heyer to rival St. Pauli for 850k. He's not played a single game for us, so it's nice to get rid of some dead wood. A few days later, Jean-Luc Dompe decided to not turn up for training. I'd apparently made a promise to him in a contract negotiation to strengthen the team up front. But we already have the best striker in the whole league, as well as probably the best talent as a backup. But he took that very personally, and just didn't show up for training. So he won't play anymore, and I'll sell him in the summer.
Blocked! You have been blocked! You have been virtually blocked!
We just about win the next two games 1-0. First we beat Hertha Berlin after a goal from Benes, and then we beat Hanover after scoring the winner in the 79th. In the 22nd league game we draw 1-1 against Hansa Rostock. Nemeth scored for us, and Fernandes had a howler when we conceded the equalizer. As so many times before though, we hit back with a win. Benes scored the only goal in a 1-0 win against Elversberg after a great team attack. We then beat Osnabrück 2-0 as Benes scored a pen and then delivered the assist to Glatzel's goal. After that win, we got an incredible 17-point gap down to Hanover and St. Pauli in second and third. The dullest game of the season then followed as we draw 0-0 to Düsseldorf. But like always, we hit back with a win after a poor result. Schonlau, Benes and Reis scored our goals in a 3-1 win against Wehen Wiesbaden. And look at this solo goal, by the way. Fuck hell. Before the 27th league game against Fürth, we've got the youth intake, and it's incredible. We have a 15-year-old centre-back who's already ready to play for the first team. But he can't play until he becomes 16 though, so both him and myself will have to be patient. Either way, Michael Seifert is definitely a name to remember.
That is bloody lovely!
Against Fürth, Glatzel's replacement Nemeth, because of an injury, scored a brace to secure an important 2-1 win. If we win the next game, the 28th league game against Kaiserslautern, and Hanover drops points against Schalke, we'll win the league with 6 games to go, and the 6-year hurt will finally be over. After 22 minutes, Nemeth scored from Okugawa's great low cross to give us the lead. 16 minutes later, it was Okugawa's turn to score, as he got this tap in from Königsdorfer's low cross. Nothing happened in the second half, and as Hanover drew to Schalke, we win the league. The 6-year hurt is finally over, and Julian Nagelsmann is the guy who's brought Hamburger back to the top flight. What a season! The next game we were down 2-0 after 36 minutes, and I actually think the players were a bit hungover, to be honest. But Nemeth was there once again as he scored a brace to rescue a draw. We then won 3-1 in both of the next 2 games, first against Holstein Kiel and then against Braunschweig. Just like the derby earlier in the season, it was another dull one. We did get to see a goal from each team, and they didn't disappoint, but the rest of the game did. Benes scored this outrageous long ranger as our goal. In the 33rd league game we won very easily 4-1 against Paderborn, but in the final game of the season we somehow lost 2-1 to Nuremberg. It's a disappointing way to end the season, but it doesn't really matter. So in the end we win the league by 19 points ahead of Schalke in second. We've set a new record for amount of points in a season and a new record for number of wins as well. We only lost 2 games while winning 23. Next year I'll be looking to build on this great first season and establish the team in the Bundesliga.
Okay, let's go.